Let me hang up with you. Got it all set up. No technical difficulties, man. Hey, you hear me still?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, man.
Yeah. That cheap beast. 45. I didn't even realize I was wearing that.
Hey. Check your mic right quick. It's a little staticky.
What about now? Is that better?
It's about the same.
Can I log in and see?
I don't know what to tell you, bro.
Maybe it's just mine.
Yeah, I'm gonna say I don't know what to tell you.
Hey, it's not my fault. Production's a little staticky on my end. Trevo. Well. I'm finally here. Hey, man. So your name's Trevo up there?
Trevo everywhere.
All right.
Are we live right now?
Yeah, we'll be starting in 2 minutes. 2 minutes. But, yeah, this show is just for us spitballing, just like our normal conversations on the phone. Gives the regular people a say. I know mainstream media doesn't normally get out everyone's viewpoints, so this is going to be a show just for regular people just like me and you to come get our ideas and hopefully create a platform for influencing, because influencers are become more and more important now than ever, especially with this main push for mainstream media.
I'm a follower. I'm a sheep.
Oh, yeah, we're going to talk about the sheep, bro. Does it sound good? Does Trevo sound good? Go ahead, Trevo.
What?
Do mic check.
1 2 1 2. Sound good?
Yeah. You're a little staticky, I guess. Laylee ain't got no good computer over there, but hey, we got visual and we're all good. Starting in 30 seconds, approximately. You say what?
Am I listening on the stream from a phone or something?
Yeah. Does it sound too bad? You can't hear it? All right, whatever. Staticky or no staticky, we have the main man, Trevo, with us. It is currently 12:30. First ever show, Real Talk with Randyboy. It means a lot to me. Real Talk with Randyboy. Just the name means a lot to me. Back in the day, I was a football player, and I couldn't say all the things I wanted to say. I was kind of censored. I was self-censored, as along with the coaches censoring me. So that was Brian Randolph speaking, and Brian Randolph, he didn't have his own voice, and so that's why I want to reinvent myself and go by Randyboy and have this platform where everything I say is authentic and real. But first guest on this show to have an authentic and real show, can't think of anyone better to bring on than the real Travaris Salisbury, also known as Trevo, Papa Trevo. The girls call him Trevo Bear. What's up, Trevo?
Trevo Bear, bro. What up, Randyboy?
Yeah, man. What up, man? Trevo Bear, let me tell you a little bit about him. We met in college, both went to the University of Tennessee, both were some freak athletes, both got our career shut down due to premature injury, but that's what football is, 100% injury rate. Trevo, his career got shut down a little bit before mine, so before he finished out his college career, he actually had a chance to be a college coach as well. So we're going to talk a little bit about that, but I know him from being my teammate as well as my coach and best friend. He's also a roommate for me for about 5 years in college, and we had a lot of real talk. So without further ado, there's no one to get into real talk with better than Trevo, and let's get into the topics, man. Starting today, let's start with some Trevo topics, man. What do you want to bring to the table?
About how we first met, bro.
Oh, go ahead. Tell them how you first met, man.
Dark depression that was running across your face inside of that facility. Me and Jordan were walking out. You were walking in with I was like, "What's up?" I was like, "Hey." I was like, "You good?" "Yeah." "What's your name?" "Brian." "Bro, you look so sad." And I was like, "Why is he so sad? Like, I'm happy happy to be alone and away from my parents. And boy, it looked like he finna cry.
Mm-hmm. Hey, well, let me touch on that right quick. Trevo's experience with camp is a little bit different than mine. As you can see, Trevo's body type is a little bit different than mine. I'm a little smaller, and so when camp starts, I just know I'm going to get messed up. I know I'm going to get hurt. My shoulder's going to come loose. My brain's going to hurt. And so, little fun fact about Randyboy, each football season, camp was the most depressing, trying time of my life. Because I know I ain't going to back down from pain. And I know what I'm getting myself into. I know it's going to be a long season. And I didn't have the body to deal with it like Trevo. I don't weigh 300-something pounds. I can't run full speed into somebody and not feel it like Trevo. So, yeah, we met. The first time I met him was the most depressing time of my life, leaving my family. I was the man in Atlanta. Had to go to Tennessee where no one knew me. Had to play only defense, so I'm not the star anymore. But running into Trevo really brightened up my time. He made my time in Tennessee a lot better. Having him to go into each and every camp with me made all my camps much better. So I was really depressed for no reason. Didn't know I was going to meet such a great guy in Trevo. So I appreciate you lifting my spirits when we first met. Yeah. I think we were about to go out and try to find some girls. Yeah, but we made it through. Got through the dark times, and we had a lot of fun times as well. But one of the topics, I do want to talk about the dark times in sports. Let's talk about the injury aspect of it and how that played out in your career, Trevo.
Which time, bro? You know,
the ending.
Honestly, the injury was a humbling experience to begin with.
Yeah.
And then after that, it just felt like everything went downhill from there. Like my first like legit injury was Oregon. I was coming off like, well, it's not Oregon. It was we played Troy. And that's my first season. You were hurt that season. You had your ACL surgery. It's my first time playing against Alabama. I got a big hit. I come out there. My first game, I made 2 TFLs, like 6-something tackles. I get in the media, first time as not even something, I would say a freshman. I think I was like a sophomore or something like that. And then the stardom, I wouldn't call it stardom. It was just like the little bit of like hype around your name gave me the big head. And I think I was hard headed, you know what I mean? And I was like, all right, well, sit your tail down real quick and be humble. Take it as it comes and don't brag and boast about it. Like, this is the moment you were supposed to be in. There's no need to be bigger than anybody else. And it definitely brought me down to a reality. You know what I mean? Like, when you get hurt, you sit down there on the sideline and your name starts to dissipate. You know what I mean? And other people's names start to blow up. You're like, damn, this is what he was trying to teach me. This would never be like that. I never feel this way if I was just evenly keeled. You know what I mean? And it's appreciative more than I was thinking that I was the man. But the injury stuff, bro.
Yeah, you definitely hit it on the head right there. You said, "Do I know what you mean?" I'm 100% know what you mean when an injury will humble a person, because if you don't recall, you did get injured before I did, and I used to pick at you every day in the locker room. I'm like, "Ha, Trevor, I told you the only reason you got girls because you played football. The only reason you got girls because you played football." See, I get girls because I look good too, and I play football. But as soon as Trevor got hurt and his name wasn't all around town, the girls stopped coming, and I thought that was proof that, hey man, you only got girls because you played football. And then I tell you, 2 years later, tore my ACL. Never had an Instagram model hit up my line again. And so it all came back full circle. And that's why I go with the line, I look like Trevo. Every single girl that calls me cute now, I'm like, whoa. I'm too humble to accept that. Please don't call me sexy. I look just like the next man. I look like Trevo because I found out through my experience of being injured that there is power in the position. And especially women, they love position. And that brings me to a nice little rollover to our next topic. It's the dating world, because I know I experienced a change in dating after I stopped playing football. I know you did as well, but can you just speak on the overall dating scene here in America and how you feel about it?
I think all relationships, I'm not going to say all relationships, but there are good relationships out there. You know what I mean? Like, there's still true love. I believe in that. I wish I had my parents' love, or love was like when our parents were growing up. You know what I mean? I feel like relationships now are transactional, bro. If I don't do one thing, if I don't do something for you, you know what I mean? You're going to find the next person that will do it. That's personally how I feel. I feel like there's no loyalty in relationships. And I'm not saying that I'm the same. You know what I mean? Because I've done my dirt in the past. But like I said, because I thought I was that guy. You know, I could do that. Sometimes you get humbled. You know what I mean? And then, like I say, you get humbled. You realize like that other person has feelings too. You know what I mean? And most people don't realize that. I don't think people buy into other people's having feelings because they've been hurt so bad. So they're so deep down in this hole that they just worried about me, and not the other person. And I feel like there's too many back doors in relationships nowadays. You know what I mean? Like Instagram, that wasn't a thing when we were. Social media wasn't a thing. You know what I mean? Like, what's the saying? A shoulder to cry on can easily be the ride on. You know what I mean? Like, no. Like, you know, I'm sorry. Because people be in your girl DMs or your boyfriend's DMs, like when they're sad or stuff ain't going right in their relationship, they don't know how to just stand, be still in the moment and try to learn and figure out what's going on. But people always want to find an escape route, like this wrong marriages now. Everybody want a divorce. They don't want to work through things. You know what I mean? And I don't know, man. I think they don't realize like that pact when you get married. That pact isn't just with you and that person; it's you, that person, and the Lord. You know what I mean? But I don't know, man. Teach his own. I think the dating seems scary. I'm blessed to have a good girlfriend now. I've been through it in the past where I didn't have good relationships, but yeah, I can't complain.
Yeah, and I just want to break this down a little bit into parts and see all the players that's responsible for this dating shambles that's going on in America. So the first section of the parties involved that I want to look further into is the men. Like, men in America definitely have a lot of responsibility for the failed relationships. Men aren't traditional men. They haven't been men of God. They haven't been men of substance. And I feel like a lot of women are seeing that, and I think that's destroying women as well. But they're seeing the reflection, and they're seeing that there's not enough real men to go around, and so then they lower their standards, and then they defile themselves by being with a no good man. And as a man, I can say a lot of fault lies with us. A lot of men, myself included, we play victim to the head downstairs. You know, we start thinking with a different head. And a big problem that I think is with these relationships is the abstinence feature. And a lot of people want to say that women hold the key to the sex life. I think it should be on the man to hold the key. I think a man should step up into his elevated mindset, his lack of emotions, his logical mindset. And if he ain't going to love the girl and she's not smart enough to see that this is not her husband, I think he needs to be the one to abstain. Because, like, you can put it on the women to abstain all day, but personally, I never met a woman to say no, that wanted me, especially when I was in position. The onus was always on me to say no. And I just don't think there's enough men out here saying no to these no good women, or to these good women as well, and end up in turn messing them up. So how do you feel about this abstinence thing that,
I feel about abstinence, bro.
Go ahead.
So I can say I'll abstain from messing around with, like, I don't even know if I can say it. Just say like a hose. You know what I mean? Like, I won't entertain that no way, because it's not substance. There's nothing of substance in there. You know what I mean? Like, I want something else. At this age, personally, I want a relationship full of substance. That ain't nothing but fulfilling, like you said, the head downstairs. You know what I mean? That's temporary, and then you just don't want more. It's like an itch that don't go away. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's don't go away. You're not fulfilled by it. Okay, then shut up. Can you see me? All right, yeah. You're not fulfilled by it, but I agree with you, bro. Like, I will abstain to a certain extent. You know what I mean? I'm gonna do me. I'm not gonna overdo it. I'm not gonna be addicted to it. I don't need it all the time. But yeah, I ain't. You know me. I ain't abstaining, bro.
Yeah. I know you, Trevo. To each his own, and I think that's true with a lot of things. But when it comes to sex, I think we're all human, and we all feel like it's a spiritual bond. And I feel like you're halfway there. You say you don't want to mess with these so-called hoes, but I'm willing. I'm going to try to challenge you not to mess with the good girls, because those are the ones that I think need to be protected the most. Like the good girls is the ones I try not to defile because they're trying to do right. You know what I mean? These girls, like these girls out here to talk to everybody. If I'm going to entertain a girl, it's going to be one of them. It's one of them. I don't feel sorry for you. We both know what you're doing. We both know why you're here, and yeah. And so that's how I stopped stopped messing around completely. I stopped with the good girls first. So I was like, hey, I'm not gonna ruin this girl's life. She likes me too much. I care about her. I'm not gonna mess with her. This girl that messes with all my team, come on over. We can hang out. We can have a good time. And then after doing that for a while, I started realizing I don't even want to mess with the bad girls. Like that's like the itch that never goes away. And then you gotta just be on her list with everybody else, and it was never satisfying for me. But the way I stopped was I stopped focusing on the thoughts because I ain't trying to protect them, don't really care about them. I started looking at the queens, if you will, the godly women, the women that love the Lord, the women that mean no harm, aren't looking for a buck, aren't trying to entrap you, aren't trying to run you. Those are the ones that I tried to take care of first. And to be honest, my judgment of those girls wasn't 100% at first. I used to think the good girls were the hoes and some of the hoes were the good girls. And with that being said, that's why I just started treating all women the same. I let them all get a pass, Trable. You know me. These girls want to do something. I'm like, girl, you don't want me like you think you do. You're just a little confused. Yeah, but so I give each and every girl a pass as much as I can. You know, I ain't perfect either. I have my mess ups. But yeah, men, the dating game, it's a man's game. I don't care what any of these simps say. The women own something. No, men run this thing. They need to start running like they used to and stop.
Men are the catch. Personally,
they are. Yeah,
that's what I think. Society might not push that narrative, but I think men are the catch. We provide. You know what I mean? We protect. All I ask is just for you to be loyal. You know what I mean? I don't ask for your status. Like we have to have status to get any girl. You know what I mean? You gotta have a job. You gotta have something going for you. You gotta have some kind of money. You know what I mean? You gotta be doing something. You know what I mean? Your girl can just walk around and be and just have looks and get whatever dude she wants. You know what I mean? So what does that mean? How does that make you valuable? You know what I mean? Especially if you're dealing with a bunch of dudes. You value those down. You know what I mean? Not to say like men going around and being with a bunch of dudes, it doesn't value you. I personally don't think it does. I think it's different, but we'll never get into that conversation. But yeah, I feel like go away. My bad.
So you say you don't think that that's the one contrary to you said men going around don't get the value by being with women? Is that what's your point? Not as much?
No, not as much. Yeah, I feel like
I agree with that. But that's not 100%. You know, I think men still devalue themselves by.
I feel like it's just not as much as female. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's not as much, and I agree with that. But people tend to overlook how much. You know, just because we're not out here getting wrecked like these women are, getting like crying in tears, getting our whole life turned upside down, it is hurting us spiritually. I think it's harder for one woman to satisfy, especially for me. I can only speak for myself. It's harder for one woman to satisfy me when I've been with all of Knoxville, all of the city I've been with. You know what I mean? And this becomes like, it's not as valuable to me, and I can get it from anywhere. And then I become desensitized to what I'm actually doing. Like I see, like, I can't, sometimes I would hang out with girls and they start crying and say they love me, and I'd be like, I just don't understand. Yeah. Doesn't make sense.
Look back and I can see how it happened. You know, it was I fed into the game. You know what I mean? And I was told them all the sweet nothings they wanted to hear, and then you get to that situation where they, you know what I mean, where they say they love you, you just feel like, whoa, like, how'd you get here? You know what I mean? I think that comes with like age. I think that comes with age. Like, definitely maturity helped develop that thought process. And that's why I don't.
And with the maturity, even I stopped whispering sweet nothings to them, and you know, they still find themselves catching feelings, and I think that's biology, and I think that goes to your point. Like, it's more crucial for a woman, you know, to protect herself than it is for a man, but at the same time, it's crucial for both of us to do the protecting, and I think it's on the man to protect them. So I think we need to start. I want you and stop running through them like there's some you know, sex machines, and stop turning them into hoes, because like there can't be a woman hoe unless men turn them in that way. So like, you say
both parties need to appreciate each other. One needs the other. You know what I mean? We were meant to be in union, not divided.
Yeah. So you talk about the union, and we mentioned both parties. Women don't need to give it up. Men don't need to take it. But I want to talk about the third player in this relationship. There's a third player in this relationship that I believe is breaking up a lot of relationships in America, and that third player is the government. The government has came in, and in every relationship, they incentivize bad behavior only for the woman. So now, like, people in this society, like my brother, people in the dating range trying to find good women, it makes it harder for us because a lot of women get sucked into bad behavior because they get paid for it. Like, we live in a time where if a woman lays down with a man, she can get paid for taking that man's baby for no fault of the man. She can have the option to destroy the baby. She can have the option to take half the man's money if they get married. So I believe it's just a bunch of factors put in by a third party that's also incentivizing this bad behavior that I really want to touch on right quick. You have any you want to add to that?
All years.
So the one thing that I cannot stand that the government is doing is that they're paying women for divorce on, like, without a woman getting beat, without a man cheating, without any malpractice happening. A woman can say, I want a divorce based off being unhappy. And with that being a clause for women, it's going to lead to bad women. And I don't think it's a woman thing. So a lot of men get crazy saying like women are just naturally bad. It's like, no, men would be in the same boat. Men would do the same thing if we were getting paid to take our kids from the mom and go out of state, especially if the mom's making a decent amount of money. There will be a lot more cases of men doing the same thing. So that's why I don't want to place that on women. Women ought not to use the system to get over on men, but it shouldn't even be in a system where men can get ran over like that and the kid gets given to the statistically the worst parent. You know what I mean? So yeah, I know a lot of stuff like that be happening in America, and I just think when you have a way out of something that's supposed to be forever and you incentivize that way, you're just asking for trouble. And ever since these marriage laws started happening in the 1970s, the black households that have two parents went from like 70% down to like some crazy number like 30 or 20%. And that was simply when they started introducing these crazy laws to help us get divorced, pretty much.
With child support, they get half. What? That blows my mind.
It's crazy. And it doesn't make sense. It's not good for the mom because she ends up being alone, and it's not good for the kids because they end up being in a single parent household. And most single parent households is where the jail population comes from. A lot of depression and acting up in school comes from single households, and it's a lot of bad stuff that comes from single household. It's obvious that a man and a woman are the best parents for kids, but the government, everything the government is pushing seems to be against that. And I think that player really needs to be highlighted because they do a good job at pinning women and men against each other. And that's going to bring me into probably our final topic of the day. This is a Randyboy topic. It's going to be a topic of propaganda. I know I'm going to let Trevo chime in here, but just my thing is it's the basis of what this show wants to be. Or I want this show to be about. I want it to be a show about unity, bringing people together. But even more so than that, I want it to be authentic. A lot of things in mainstream media, it's just polarizing propaganda. And with how obviously polarizing and diversive the media is, it's crazy how effective it is, how it's been working and tearing people apart. They use black versus white, men versus women, gay versus straight, the Democrats versus Republican, and pro-life, pro-choice. Yeah, and it's all just designed to have us divided and going at each other when we're really on the same team. Because through all this propaganda that happened the past 3 years that I've been witnessing, I've been in the financial game for the last 3 years as well with my main job, and I've seen how the ultra rich has systematically take money from the middle class and put it into their pocket.
With a little like yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and they give you a little stipend, and then they tell you to go fight about gun laws and go fight about abortion laws. When really, I think America can all stand together and say, in a period. So let me tell you the facts. In the period, the last 3 years, America as a whole lost $14 trillion. In that same period, the ultra rich, who already own 90% of the money, has taken $4 trillion from the working class, the middle class, into their pockets, primarily through big pharma. But the main one is through finance. By just simply shorting the stock market, they took all the working classes' money because they knew the country was going down. And that's how a new billionaire was created on average every day of the pandemic. Over 500 new billionaires were created. The average billionaire before the pandemic earned 30%, added 30% revenue to their money. And 30% of $1 billion is crazy, especially in a time when we're going downhill. And during that time, all they could talk about was Black Lives Matter, gay versus straight, pro-lifers. All they wanted to talk about was stuff that I think the American people truly, there are important topics, but I think the American people truly would rather not getting robbed and having the standard of living crushed for the working American class based off American.
A lot of people.
You say what?
People realize that they get robbed because it's so.
Because
you know what I mean.
Yeah,
on
and
that door.
And that's all by design. Nope, they don't want you realizing how much you've been getting robbed and how much they've been making off our suffering. Like, even though they report energy earnings, record revenue, food, record revenue, gas, record revenue, all the things were record revenue, but they don't want us talking about it. It's like, how are you making record profits in a time when we're dying? You know what I mean? Our country is going down. We're stuck. Yeah, no, we're about to be in a depression. I told you I saw this the stat the other day. During the depression, the average household made $5,000, and in today's money, that's $88,000. And so, like, if the average person in today was making $88,000, we would be in a depression just like 1930. But the average household today is making $30,000. So I'm saying we're way worse off than we were during the worst time of the Great Depression, and nobody wants to talk about it. They want to talk about all this stuff to be divisive, all this stuff that truly, I believe people would not care if they looked at the numbers. If they saw the numbers, people would not be all bent over about gay people getting married, the approach. It's like, that is important. Those are important topics and all that, but really, why are you robbing us legally and not talking about it? And then to put the cherry on top, you try to divide us against each other. Personally, it's just an obvious case of divide and conquer. And that's pretty much what I really want this show to be about. I'm tired of these fake people being put in position to be leaders, influencers when they don't have our best interests at heart. So this show is about being the best, or bringing the best interests of the people and bringing it to light. And that one topic that sits home to me is the finance, because I think beyond what your socialistic or your political values are, the money speaks for itself. And we work too hard. I know I work too hard to have my money get taken away from me like it did over 3 years. And yeah, I think the whole American country can agree that, hey, don't let our money inflate. Don't let our economy go to nothing. And don't let these billionaires, ultra billionaires who own 90% of our money, double their money at the same time. Like, I believe that's what people would really be interested on and voting for. Like, if we're going to have an election, let's vote for, don't let these greedy people, don't let these corporations tank our economy and take our money, versus don't let gay people get married, don't let people kill their kids, all this stuff they want you to talk about. But, we got 2 minutes left. Trevo, I appreciate you joining with us. I'm gonna let you give your chance to have some closing thoughts, man.
I ain't got no closing thoughts, bro. I thought it was a good conversation. I thought a lot of people need to hear some of that stuff. You know what I mean? That's the people don't talk about.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
You only see it. We talk about, you only see them like those red pill rant pages. You know what I mean? Where people actually think for themselves.
Oh yeah, that is a good. That's the phrase of this. I want people to be able to think for themselves. Don't take what I'm saying and go to the bank with it. Have a cognitive mind. Don't be a sheep. Sit there and say, if someone's telling me something, is it true? Can I prove it? And that leads me into my topic for next week, or probably not next week. I'll be back to 30th. I'm gonna have Trevo on again some other time. Next time I get Trevo on, though, I do want to talk about not believing everything you hear.
Where you going? Where you going?
You know I'm going. One day I want to talk about. Hey man, did we go to the moon? I don't know, Trevo. Is the Earth round and just floating? I haven't seen it. You know what I mean? I've been told, but you haven't seen it either. So, hey, we can all do better and just not believing everything we hear. I'm not here to say that we ain't been to the moon or that the earth is flat. I'm here to say, I don't know. And if I read the Bible, it sounds like the earth's flat. But hey, I believe in the Bible. I believe what I can see with my eyes. I had never seen someone on the moon. They had the technology back in 1970. We went through a technology. No. Hey, that's for next time. We might. Hey, this last little fact.
I gotta hold myself back because I want to argue. I gotta hold myself back.
Yeah.
Are we out of time?
No. Hey, we ain't arguing now. We gonna argue later, man. But let me talk my stuff. We ain't been to the moon since 1970, and then we underwent the technology boom, and now we don't have the technology to get back there. We have all the radars, all the Wi-Fi now that we didn't have then, but we can't get back to the moon now. We should be able to get back to the moon on half the price it cost back then. But hey, the facts say something different. Hey, we can't get there no more. But hey, that's for next time. Me and Trevo, we're gonna talk about the moon. We're gonna talk about some other conspiracies. Hey, Trevo, all I know is your forehead not flat, got some wrinkles in it, you know. So, hey, I'm gonna get you, and that's when the show ends. The show ends, but hey, Trevo, get your forehead ironed out, a little wrinkly, been folded up too long. I love you, man. You always been a great friend. I appreciate you, man. I got a big old knot on my forehead from playing the egg.
Yeah, we gonna talk about that, cool?
Yeah, that's what I did. Hey, but at least, hey, we both been humbled. We both know we ugly. We look like Trevo. And these girls only wanted us because we play football.
We look good.
You say what?
We look good, bro.
Brother, you are a cop. The only reason you get girls
I'm the only dude on the face of the earth who can look this good with wrinkles on their forehead. The only one.
I used to think the same thing about myself. I'm the only dude that have this big forehead and get girls, but it's because I was in position, bro. You're a cop now. Girls love you because you got the suit on. You walk up to them, and they think you look good. lose that bag, bro, and you gonna be in the same boat with me, girlless as I ever seen one, man. But hey, hopefully that never happens. I'm glad we got humbled, but appreciate you, Travo Bear. You be safe out there. Hey, God bless you, man. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. We'll tune in again for another Real Talk. It's episode number 1, not too bad. Might have had some chats here. My computer froze, so if you sent some chats, just hit me up. But appreciate y'all. Have a great time. God bless.